Dodds.
Here.
Tom O'Connor. Michelle Beatty. Here. Kurt Lynn.
Here.
Aaron DeBurr.
Here.
Angie Hopping. Here. I'm here. Tricia Hawk. Here. Jeff Beckmeyer. Is there anyone from finance? Jerry Harris. Marie Collins. Here. Beth Treadway. Here. Joe Strange.
Here.
Alex Scott.
Here.
Kathy Cumby. Here.
You have a city person?
Do we have anyone from the city? City person? I don't think so.
All right. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve agenda. Oh, sorry.
Second.
Hey, you want one?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. General manager's report.
Okay, so we did our final due diligence on the excavator that we've been discussing replacing. We've been looking at one from Cannon Excavation for quite some time. We've also looked at some alternative routes. We've had 2 mechanics look at the excavator and found nothing but minor cosmetic issues. And so we should be moving forward with purchasing our replacement excavator. The final drive on our bulldozer is being repaired, and the estimated completion for reinstallation will be at the end of next week, at which point we're going to talk to several people about selling that piece of equipment and our existing excavator. I should have my final baby pool renovation bid next week, so we'll have 3 at that point. And pending that final bid, we're going to look at a possible recast of the 2024 capital budget with some options for Lakewood Park, including maybe doing the restroom installation this year instead of the parking lot expansion. So everyone's going to discuss that. Aside from that, that concludes my report.
Awesome. On to old business. Permit for the drawdown pipe and abandonment has been approved. Start date TBD. Based on the contractor schedule, do you have any news for us there, Heather?
No, I followed up today. I'm still waiting to hear back on a start date.
Okay. On to new business. Legal fees. We didn't see legal fees in...
They're in your executive packet.
They are, and I actually had a question about something, so I don't know if this is the right one.
We'll table.
So we're going to table that and retire. That's probably what we need to do, correct? Yeah, we'll need to table that for right now. Report back to everybody on that.
Okay.
Next item, the City of Lake St. Louis requests that the Board of Directors approves the Lap the Lake 5K on September 15th, 2024. We've confirmed that that doesn't conflict with any of our other scheduled events, correct?
I think Joe would.
Oh,
Just one fast question. Last year they advertised as a 5K and they ended up with a 5K, a 10K, and a half marathon. Do you know if that's what's going to be happening?
The agreement they sent us is for a 5K.
They did the same thing last year, from what I understand.
Well, it says 5K, 10 miler, and half marathon.
Sorry. And they put that in the contract this year, so it sounds like, yes, that's correct. And no, last year this was scheduled the same day as the Fletcher Cup, and we told the city they needed to move it, so they picked an alternate Saturday, so we have no other conflicting events that day.
does, yeah, we would need to have a...
What's your, other than
That was just my question, because last year it did conflict with the Fletcher Cup. We had to push the Fletcher Cup back to our this year.
but if there's no
According to the
conflict,
schedule we submitted, it shouldn't be a problem.
But yeah, it should be noted that it's not just a 5K, it's more than that, right? So,
Yeah, that was my point.
it's in the contract.
yeah. Do entertain a motion and then have discussion?
I motion to accept the Community Association Clubhouse Grounds in Lake St. Louis usage agreement from the City of Lake St. Louis.
Second.
Any further discussion?
I would just say we should call it the Lap the Lake agreement.
per what he had recommended.
Sure. Is this, Heather, is this the same basic format, same agreement that was signed last year?
Yeah.
Was
And
there
the-
any issues last year that came up that we should be hedging?
No, except for the conflict with the Fletcher Cup, which they're holding that event on September 8th. And when we saw that the city had requested that same Saturday, we just told them, you need to pick a different date so that we didn't interfere with the golf.
And the other committees, I mean, has this been floated past all of the other committees?
Yeah, the only major club that we haven't, which it wouldn't affect them, that we haven't received the schedule at is swim team. So this doesn't conflict with tennis, any courts committee or pickleball events or golf events. So
What day is the 15th?
I believe that's a Saturday. Let me double
Saturday
check.
morning, it's usually open by 11.
Yeah, okay. That's all I got.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
It's a Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
Sunday?
Yeah, it's a Sunday.
It's on Saturday.
All right, so next point of, or next item on the list is the City of Lake St. Louis requests that the Board of Directors approves the following dates for Music on the Lake at Windjammer Marina. This will be July 13th, 2024, August 3rd, 2024, September 14th, 2024. These have all been cleared with CA scheduling, correct?
Yes.
Entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the Music on the Lake dates for the city of Lake St. Louis.
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, the Wings of Lake St. Louis request, Brent Weisberger. The Wings of Lake St. Louis is requesting that the Board of Directors approves the contribution of $325 for the club to sponsor a Raptor Birds of Prey event for the membership. The tentative date for this event is April 14th, 2024 at 3 p.m. at the small lake behind the clubhouse.
And Brent is in
Do we have
attendance.
Here.
Brent, would you like to?
Give us a little presentation.
Thank you. Last spring at the CA Open House, we had decided to establish a bird appreciation club. And I just started it, I guess, out of, because somebody did. And one of the things that really surprised me was how many people stopped by our little table over here, and just all they wanted to talk about was the eagles. Because obviously we have eagles around here, and they're pretty interesting birds. But then others were talking to me about different types of owls and other birds of prey, and all of it are very common. So we thought it would be fun with the World Bird Sanctuary, which is down in Valley Park, right out in 44 down there. They've got a place where they rehab injured birds, etc. Quite an interesting place if you haven't been there. A great thing to take kids to. But I went down there and spoke with them, and they have an educational outreach program where they can bring birds to us. And I spoke with them about it, and they said, yeah, we can bring birds that are actually endemic in your neighborhood. So I suggested, could we get a bald eagle, a red-shouldered hawk, a great horned owl, and an American kestrel, all of which are raptors. And you have photos of those 4 birds on the handout that we had. By the way, those photos were all taken here in Lake St. Louis by one of our club members, Jane Leonard. And his photography is fantastic, but the birds are absolutely spectacular, and they're all local here. So when families are out walking around and they see something soaring overhead, we thought it would be nice if kids especially could see these birds up close, and they bring them, and they're going to be standing on their arms. And you can see them looking at the business end of the bald eagle from 4 feet away. Gets your attention, I'll tell you that. But it's quite an interesting experience, and the outreach program is not free, it's $325, but we thought, could we open it to the entire CA and just have it down in the lawn right behind us here, or if it's raining under the pavilion, they said they can go either way with it, and then we can just promote it through a blast from Heather. Vicki here works over at Green Tree, and she's another of our club members, and she's at Green Tree Elementary volunteering. She's willing to get the word out to the school kids There's other scout groups around, things of that nature where we can, it's especially designed for younger people, but it's a family event. And so we're just looking to do that. The bad news is Wayne's Over Lake St. Louis has an operating budget of 0. We don't have any money, we're just a club. So we don't have the resources to make this happen. But we did want to make it entirely open to the full membership, the entire CA. So that's our request, and thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
We talked to the Lake St. Louis Mothers Club at all, or anything, any other clubs? You know, I mean, as far as partnering with them, or, you know, as far as getting some kind
I
of,
talked with the ambassadors last fall. We intended originally to do this last fall. The weather got bad and the bird sanctuary was tied up and we just couldn't make it happen. So we just tabled the whole thing until spring. Mother's Club would be a good one to talk to. I think, is Jen still involved with that?
No.
Not anymore, okay. But yes, there are other clubs, we talked to ambassadors about it. They couldn't tie it in with their events either. I was thinking that if somebody was going to have a fundraiser, like a barbecue or something like that, that we could tie it up with that, and maybe do it at Boulevard Park, Founders Park, I don't know. All other things equal without involving anybody else. This seemed like a good location because we can go rain or shine, which is a nice thing.
So-
Because the pavilion should allow us to have enough people under cover.
Perfect. I would entertain a motion. Did,
Did you want to say something, Bill?
Yeah, I'm with the ambassadors, and we have a limited budget of what we donate, but I think I could, I'll say this without any authority whatsoever. But I would think the ambassadors at least give $100 to this. But you know, we do give several $1,000s out, but generally volunteers are better than it all. I'm sorry, I don't remember you coming to the.
I was talking with Scott and Allison.
Okay.
And we talked about it.
Because I don't remember you being a.
No, he's involved in wings as well. Scott's a PhD.
Well, I would say that I would, as a member of the ambassadors, they're always asking for community associations or something where we can donate money, and I would bring your scores, it's not just 350, but at least 100 or so.
Brent, can I ask one question?
Sure.
When you talked to the people, the World Bird Sanctuary folks, did you get a feel for their scheduling or timeline? Like how quickly do you need to schedule this in advance? How far in advance do you need
We
to
are
schedule?
on their docket in Bensel right now. I just emailed back and forth with them Thursday or Friday last week. They said, we'll send you an invoice and then it's booked. But they already have us on the calendar for Sunday, April 14th. That's 2 weeks after Easter. So I don't think there's any real conflicts with.
And you need to commit money by when?
I haven't committed anything yet.
But you'll lose your spot if you don't pay by.
Well, I'd say earlier would be better than later.
let's entertain a motion and have a discussion.
I'll make a motion to approve a contribution of $225. For the club to sponsor a rapid.
Getting that approved?
Yes.
Raptors Bird Prey event for the membership.
I'll second it.
So I think that this is something that we should definitely do this time as a proof of concept, and if it looks like something that can be done in the future, then we look at fundraising and we look at leaning on the ambassadors more or other things. If it gets a good response, you're going to have people that want to jump onto it. I think 225 cheapo.
Volunteer $100.
Well, I know, and I've talked to the Mothers Club, they want to be more.
I'm saving all the CA members' money.
So I bet they would do 100, I mean, I
feeling that they would also, because if they could attach their name to something alongside of it too, that they're involved in the community.
So what I would like to see us do is to go ahead and commit to covering it and then offer sponsorship opportunity to the ambassadors and to the Mothers Club. So if they want to chip in $100, they can fly their banner.
I guess I would like to recommend that, offer up to 325, but allow sponsorship to other groups if available.
So that would be an amended motion. You got that, Tricia?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the photo.
All right.
Great. I know.
So, yeah, the pictures are beautiful.
That's amazing.
So you guys want to see it?
Moving on to the next item. The Missouri Disabled Water Ski Association requests approval for the following dates for their adapted water ski event at Jefferson Point. May the 28th, June the 20th, and July the 29th, all in the year of 2024. These have been already
July 19th.
19th.
July, what did I say?
29.
Oh, just definitely July 19th. I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve Missouri Disabled Water Ski Association request for approval for the following dates: May 28th, 2024, June 20th, 24, and July 19th, 2024.
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Yeah. So this is the day after Memorial Day?
Which has been done several years ago.
It has?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, just want to make sure.
And again, they.
4-day weekend, it's a holiday
gonna be busy.
weekend, I just want
Yeah.
to make sure that we're not, because it's a great program, but they occupy Jefferson Point for sure, so.
Yeah, they definitely do occupy it, so they don't do it on a weekend, they do it on a weekday. But they try to do it more often than not, they try to do it on a Friday or a Monday, except for day after Memorial Day.
So it'll be Tuesday then. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm sure, was there any further discussion? I'm sorry. No, we're good. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And I'm going to abstain.
You have a conflict of interest?
I participate with them a lot. I've been asked to be on their board. I've resisted being on their board, but I am very active with them, and I would prefer that I abstain on
I
this.
think that's a good call. All righty, on to the committee reports. The, Mr. Beckmeyer is not here. You okay?
Is this supposed to be on the table first? No, it's not. Sorry.
Okay. Having technical difficulties for those of you on YouTube.
I mean, it can be.
Okay. All right, moving on. Jeff Beckmeyer is not here still, correct?
I'm here from Mumbai.
Oh, you're here for, okay, Ed's here, okay, great.
Oh,
Would you like to come up and sit at the microphone?
got some motions on there.
You've got some, you know what your
I
motions
didn't
are?
realize he wasn't going to be here.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, we can at least
Well, you
ask
can start
questions
now.
of you if we have to, sorry.
Yeah.
First motion that you all have is to recommend, you want
Bob
to read
approves
it?
the recommendation. Do you want to read that?
Want me to read it?
I mean,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay, we made a motion to recommend that the Board of Directors approve the E and F recommendation that the CA makes a financial contribution to updating the 9-point element watershed study plan for Farouk Creek.
Do we want to have discussion before we make a motion, or do we want to?
Or do you want to table until we get through all of the committees? Because they
They're
all
gonna come
touch
up
on
with
it.
engineer.
Yeah, I think that we can dispose of this, and then we'll just, when we get to the next ones, we can just jump over those because it's already.
All I know is we looked at the recommendations and we approved the recommendation.
And I think that because we've got, that is the first company that has given us a budgetary quote on that. The board is resistant to commit to a particular number, because we feel like that there's gonna be competitive bids, and we wanna make sure that we don't commit more or less than we have to.
And the finance committee is
basically a bunch of nerdy accountants. And so we generally, look to the ENF, the people that know what needs to be done. And if we think it's reasonable and we go out for proper bids, we generally would support that. So, but to say that we know enough about
The actual
yeah,
watershed study
we're,
part of
we're
it.
not there.
Right.
We're just saying if the people that are on the boards think it's the right thing to do it, and we have the proper bidding proposals in front of us, we would approve it. So
And it does appear that the ENF did make the same recommendations that you all are making, so I think that we can
Once we get to that.
we can consider it and act on it right now. I would entertain a motion.
Motion recommended, the board approves the ENF recommendation, the CA makes a financial contribution to updating the 9-point element watershed study plan for Prue Creek.
Or takes the next step in getting more bids.
Yeah, I think that,
I'm not sure
I
what.
think that what we want to communicate is that we are definitely willing to make a financial contribution.
Yes.
We are not
That would be, so I don't know exactly how that should be worded. Other than to say maybe the motion to recommend the board approves the ENF recommendation. With the caveat that we are not committing to a certain amount, but we are recognizing that there is funds that need to be spent to update the watershed study.
at an amount to be determined.
yeah, leave.
Contribute to the updating
No, we
at
got
an
more.
amount to be determined. Yeah, we could
We
just
got
put,
another one after that.
yeah,
So we did make a motion
Yes.
that was amended with to be determined.
Yes.
with an amount to be
Amount.
determined.
For the
right.
amount of that.
Did anybody
I'll
second
second
it? Okay. Do we need any further discussion based on that nebulous?
Yeah, unfortunately. So, this motion is committing us to updating the plan regardless. We're just, the amount of money is what we're talking about spending. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, if we can't come to a whole on the money required because the TBD is too high, then it won't happen, right? So we're not committing to do the plan. We're showing financial interest in doing it, but we're not, it can't start until we come back with the actual value and get it approved.
And I think we're acknowledging the need to update the watershed. Jerry?
The basis behind this, okay, is generated through the city, correct? And as far as the study, and it includes Twinsville, it includes St. Charles County, it includes Lake St. Louis. The biggest benefactor for all of this is Lake St. Louis Community Association, because Prue Creek is our generator for the lake. So to process down the road, which is a long study, a long process, to process through all this, it's going to take several years. And the study has to be done. This was done 10 years ago or so. It has to be redone because there's a possibility, certainly a possibility, of some federal funds out there that could help with this. But we have to show our desire to make sure that we keep our lake like it is.
We have to do this first.
So that's the reason behind this. I'm sure you've heard that already, but I want to give
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that and for everybody to hear and on the record. That's important. So, is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, I'm
Next
not
motion.
again. The motion, the finance committee makes the motion that the board of directors approve Jeff Beckemeyer as chairman of the finance committee.
Okay.
Entertain the motion.
Motion at the board, I'm gonna say.
And the finance committee approved or voted for him to do that, so.
Okay. Motion the board approves Jeff Beckmeyer as chair of Finance Committee.
Second.
Any discussion?
Jeff wants it, obviously.
Pardon me?
Jeff is okay.
Yes, he's okay with that, yes,
We just
yes.
voted him in.
He's not here.
I think he's out of the country, so. Too bad.
Too bad.
Don't show
Lose
up
to
at the
lose.
Too bad. As long as my name wasn't on there, I'm okay.
All right,
Next
so
time.
You get a
No,
second?
they're not gonna,
we've got a motion and a second. Any other further discussion? I personally think I've seen
Jeff's a
his
great
work for a
job.
long time, and I think Jeff does a dynamite job. I think he'll be a great.
I agree.
So,
Approved.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
and I guess the next one is Finance Committee recommended the Board of Directors approves the annual contribution to the dredging fund, the amount of $375,000 for 2024, which there's no problem with doing that from a financial standpoint at all, so. It's in accordance with the bylaws.
And I guess I can make the motion because I was at the finance committee meeting. So I recommend that we approve the recommendation from the finance committee to contribute to the dredging fund in the amount of $375,000 for 2024. But I do have some discussions.
Yeah, so-
I'll second.
Okay, so discussion?
So I do want to just make it clear though too, so if there are, correct me if I'm wrong, Heather, from what I understood at the finance meeting, that if there are additional funds available, we can always add more to, so we're approving 375, but if there is a need or if there's funds, we can always put more into the dredge in 2024, correct?
Yes, that's
We
correct.
talked about that a little bit there, but
Yes.
we're approving no less than this basically, but.
Right, so we're very cash heavy this time of year, so we try to make the dredging fund contribution early and get it into an investment account. But yes, if you ended the year and you had a budget surplus, you could elect to contribute that to the dredging fund. If we sell this used equipment,
Correct,
you could
okay.
elect to contribute that to the dredging fund. So the big thing is we have to pay for our operating expenses, then we can make our dredging fund contribution, and then we can spend 15% on capital improvements after those items have been satisfied.
Okay, I just wanted to get that in the
Yes.
minutes. Not saying that we don't know what the future holds for this year, but just that,
Thank you.
How does this number compare to previous years? Is this the same amount that we're doing every year, or is this more?
This has been increased over 2 years ago. 2 years ago it was at 325, now it's at 375, and then starting in 2026 we need to do 450 for 26, 27, and 28.
So, go ahead.
So I guess I have to make a general comment that I'm fine with the 375 this year, but I think we need to take a look at increasing sooner because of potential earlier dredge or more expensive dredge.
Yeah, this goes along with the Pearl Creek study and everything, like, it's kind of a belt and suspenders issue. We're gonna hope, we're going to plan for the 9-point plan and see what happens down that avenue. But at the end of the day, we're gonna have significant dredging costs on the horizon.
It's important to understand that 9-point plan is not something that's gonna happen in 2 years or 3 years. That's 5 and 10 years. What you are doing is investing for your future there.
Yeah, yeah, and we've had extensive conversations about it, so I think we all know what we're looking at and trying to wrap our heads around what realistic expectations can come out of that. But regardless, I think we're all on board with doing what we can to bolster the dredge.
Well, one of the things to consider is that we feel like we're seeing silting in faster than we have in the past right now, and that there's a possibility that we may need to dredge, maybe not, but there's a possibility we may need to dredge earlier than we originally anticipated. So that's certainly cause for concern.
Yeah, so the last dredge total cost was 2.1 million, and by the 7th year of this dredge preparation, we're anticipating 2.35 million. There are factors obviously that come into place as our insurance went up 30%. I'm sure the contractors went up 30%. The cost of diesel plays a huge factor in those costs. because that's one of their biggest expenses in addition to their normal operating costs. So those things can be in flux.
And the other thing is too, there's not a lot of competition out there either, so we're kind of at the mercy a little bit also. See?
Okay, so any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All in favor? Or if motion carries?
Good
Thank you,
evening.
sir. Thanks for standing in. Jerry?
As the last 2 or 3 meetings, the finance took care of our motions.
I
so-
stole your thunder. It does say here that ENF is currently has an opening on the committee and is seeking applications for a new member. That is still the case. So is that something that should go out on a blast?
So we actually have received two today. And
Okay.
then Jerry has some applicants also, so
Okay.
I think at the moment we're in good shape.
Okay, there you go. Done and done. Okay, very good. Thank you, Jerry. Sorry we stole your thunder. On to architectural control, Marie Collins. Promised I wouldn't make Marie speak. So we did discuss the motions that they gave us in our executive session, just to make sure that we understood what the implications were for some of the adjustments on the ACC guidelines. With that being said, I think we can go ahead and start to try to knock these out by entertaining some motions and having some discussion.
You want to do them one at a time? Is that-
Yeah, I think we need to do them one at a time.
Okay.
How about the first one, though?
Yeah, we gotta get Marie.
Yeah, we gotta get Maurice. on the-
Sorry, she's
Yeah,
getting, I have some, I left it on. I made
Okay.
a note to make sure to remove it.
Okay, so that's already
We
been
did
taken care of.
that.
That's already been, oops, sorry. Okay. The other one was the motion to recommend that the board converts
He's already-
Bob
that's
Manziel. That's already
already-
happened
That's
too.
already done.
Already done.
All right, okay. Well, that was easy. All right, so the next one would be the Article 5, exterior alterations, Section 1, fences, paragraph 2, 15.
I motion that we adopt the recommendation from ACC as submitted of Article 5, exterior alterations, Section 1 fences.
Which is to delete sentences.
Yeah, which is to reorganize,
Creating a new section for that
yeah,
language.
creating a
that
new
we're-
section for privacy screens and separating it out from fences. Good.
Do I hear a second?
As presented.
Second.
Yeah, as submitted.
Yeah.
We've got a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next one, is that the exterior alterations is the next one?
I make a motion that we approve the addition of section Q to Article 5, exterior alterations relating to privacy screens, as submitted with the addition that the improvements be permanent in nature and they cannot enclose a patio.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion to approve the alteration to section R. Is it an alter? It's a new pair. It's new. All right. So I make a motion that section R be added to Article 5, exterior alterations, garden trellises and arbors, as submitted, with the additional note that garden trellises and arbors cannot exceed more than 16 linear feet on any given lot.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's written up right here, it says Q, but it should be R.
Yeah.
Okay, that's,
He
I was
said
confused there. I'm glad you said
He
that.
said R, I just mean it's written up in
Okay.
the minute.
Here.
Right.
I'm going off of this guy.
Okay,
So.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the clarification, sir.
Because we could.
Yeah, there's two Qs. Okay, yeah.
On to the next one.
All right, I make a motion that we change Article 7, Paragraph C, Docs, Paragraph 12, as submitted, to change canopy skirt length from 30 inches to 32 inches, and adjusting numerical error.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
You're on a roll. Keep going.
This is not easy. I make a motion that Article 7, Boat Docks, Paragraph D, canopy screens be amended as submitted. That screens shall not exceed 65 inches in length. They can be made of black or a color that matches the lift canopy, and that they shall be only commercially manufactured screens.
I second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. And that will take us through ACC. Thank you. And move us on to Lakes and Parks.
Okay, Lakes and Parks did not meet. We did do a virtual vote on 2 club schedules. So we have a motion to recommend the Board of Directors approve the 2024 ski club schedule as presented, which was a revised one.
Yes.
Entertain a motion.
Motion to recommend that the board approves the 2024 ski club schedule.
You have a second.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah. So you said it was revised. Is what we have the current?
Yes.
I have a question based on last year. We had, I'll say, conflict between the ski club and anglers club.
Correct.
Which, in my opinion, resulted in a potential safety issue.
Correct. And
So is that,
yes. So I'll speak as the chair of Lakes and Parks. So as the chair of Lakes and Parks, I met with the president of the Anglers Club as well as the president of the ski club, and which is why you guys didn't see the first one, I doubt, because we didn't meet. So it was revised before you probably got a copy of it. So there is. Did you give them the second page of it?
I gave them both schedules
Yes.
and the compromise
So
stuff.
there's a compromise. So when the President Christy Cross as well as Ryan Hopping met, they made changes to where there wouldn't be an issue with that. And it's spelled out in that compromise section.
Okay.
Was that confusing to you? Do you have questions about it?
no, if as long as it's worked out, such that
It is correct. So there will be a sign out at all times during ski club practices on the evenings where, and I believe there's 3, you guys probably, I don't have that in front of me. I believe there's 3 where ski club practice will end at 5:30. They will turn the sign around, remove the sign, let the anglers come through at 6 o'clock. They will resume, put the sign back out, do practice from 6 to 8, and then the sign will be, they will end practice early on that night. And I believe that was 3 evenings. So the anglers will know that they can come through from 5:30 to 6, and then they can return, which is the end of their tournament time at 8 o'clock. There were some nights where practices from the ski club that anglers were already using it, so ski club agreed to move their practice times for that particular act to a Friday night and take time from another act.
okay, well, thank you.
And then there were some nights where the anglers are on the small lake, and so ski club was able to use the full Jefferson Point on the nights that the anglers are at the little lake.
Okay.
So Thursday night was the night that they met about. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And it was they did a nice job of coming up with their ideas, so.
Is this schedule substantially the same as previous?
It is, there only, and I'm speaking of the ski club rep, the only change was there is a May 17th date where there is an extension on, I believe it's May 17th. Angie, will you see that
It's,
jump clinic?
May 11th.
May
11th.
11th. So the future of jump, so the ski club is requesting to have, normally our practice time ends at 12 o'clock on Saturday. They're requesting to go until 3 o'clock. They have an outside group they're called the Future of Jump, and they're an outside group that is really trying to promote the future of jump, and they're doing flips and helis and more advanced jumps, of which our team cannot coach up those skills. And so therefore they're bringing in an outside trainer, which they did last year, and it ended up running over a little bit of our time, and so we wanted to make sure that we have it within the time frame. So that is the only change that's different from last year's schedule. And I believe May 11th. So they tried to do it early in the season to where hopefully it's not super busy. And that was the date that the company that's doing it was available. And it is they are sanctioned by USA Water Ski Trainers. And it's a nonprofit that does it. And did you participate?
No,
Okay.
we'll be using
Our
our
jump.
boats.
It will be our boats, our certified
drivers.
drivers.
Is there any further discussion?
There aren't liability issues or anything, are there?
No.
They're doing jumps and
No.
things. They have to have their own separate liability policy.
Okay.
No, it is not. I actually do have a question.
And they do require us to have
Okay.
waivers signed by the
So-
coach. And so does the skate club.
The 20th is the second home show. And after the
Correct.
20th, it appears that there's not going to be practice on Monday.
No, Thursday. They gave up
Only Thursday?
Thursday, Sunday, Thursday. If
So
it's-
Thursday.
Yes, because that was a compromise with the anglers.
Gotcha. So my question is, so who will be practicing?
So that that won't be my decision.
So, okay, so historically, after home show's over, our trials practice.
Correct, and jump continues on.
Uh-huh. So my question is, why after the 20th, do we keep 2 5-hour practices on Saturday and Sunday?
I would not be the person to answer that. That
That
is a
I'm not okay
request.
with.
Well, but they gave up Sunday.
No.
Yeah,
Practice.
Sunday.
Oh, so we have 5 hours on Saturday?
Yes.
Okay. So that's my question.
Sundays are removed as well as Thursdays.
Okay.
And I think, I don't have the exact, the club themselves, I know, and I may or may not be a part of the discussion, has looking at the acts. So I think most of you guys know. The acts that the ski club offer would be anything from knee board for our youngest skiers to junior line for our little bitty ones to a ballet line for our teenage girls, a ladies line for our adult women, a men's line for our adult men, wakeboard for wakeboarders. So while it looks like a lot of time, it's not the same people every time. Then we have our arch rivals team, which is our show ski competition team. We have jump, which jump is a little confusing because we have show ski jumping and we have what's called 3-event jumping, which is what, like my son competes in 3 events, which is tricks, jump for distance, not for show, and then the slalom course. And so that is, if you go to any colleges and see college tournaments, typically that's 3-event skiing. We have a big show ski team, and so we compete at regionals as well as if we qualify, we go to either a Division I or a Division II nationals. So, and we have a men's line. I'm trying to think of what all. We have pyramid practice. So sometimes some of those teams might want to continue with like what we'll do at open practice, where if your kid's never done pyramid before, but they might want to try pyramids. So, but one of the things that has to be done this year is that they're going to be looking at changing the schedule. Like, so men's line used to always practice at the same time, but we don't know that it's we know what we have the confines of the time frame, but it may not be like the acts are the exact same times as they were last year. Does that make sense? Because wakeboard has been a really big sport for us. So we may want to try to give wakeboard a little bit more time, whereas we might have other acts. We don't know what we have signed up until we finish our enrollments. So once membership happens, we'll kind of know who we have signed up for the different acts and be able to kind of divvy that up within that time frame.
But
Any further?
but that didn't answer my question. Like after home show on the 20th, the Jefferson Point is still going to be occupied from.
And I can't tell you right now who is going to be.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, historically, it's been our tribals. We know
Which is
that.
the Show-C competition team.
So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I don't even know how many hours that is.
Well, it's about 2.5.
6
For-
to sunset?
Yeah.
2.5.
That's 2.5,
For 4
roughly,
days.
in that
and then
time.
5.
Yeah, I don't, the weekday,
15 hours
the
total.
weekday evenings, I don't really have any exception with. I just want to, I don't personally have a problem with the Saturday, but that's what I'm looking at, is I know, there's a lot of people who want to use the lake, and
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we're balancing it as best we can, and I think we've done a decent job in the past, and if you're telling me that this is substantially the same schedule.
For the
It
last
is.
2 years, yes. 3 years,
Yeah.
yes.
It is.
Yeah.
There is a show that we do some traveling shows. We haven't done as much lately. There is a show on. We're waiting on the final date. That's in August, and that is why we keep doing some type of practice into August. Is because we still have a show. We do a show at Lake Wapapello, and it's a great show. We get a big crowd, and we put on 2 or 3 shows while we're down there. So.
Okay, I think we're ready to move to,
Are you good? No?
I honestly think this should be tabled and we should look at this more extensively, but that's my opinion.
okay, we have
I understand.
a motion and a second. If we have discussion, if you'd like to have a roll call vote, we can do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Aaron?
Aye.
Andy?
No, I vote against it.
Tom?
Hi.
I'm open to having more discussion on it. I don't know, this doesn't have to be decided, we're in February. We're in January. I don't know why we
The
can't.
only request that we've had from membership is just that families are making their vacation schedules. And
Gotcha.
so at least the show dates.
We could do this. Would you be open to that? I just don't, as a new board member, I don't know enough history about the practice schedules. And if a fellow board member is wanting to have a little more discussion
So-
about that, I would.
Let me ask you this,
Yes.
Angie, just for as sort of just wondering here. So my understanding is that your objection is to the Saturday schedule after July 20th.
Yes.
Do you object to anything else?
There's a couple things, but yeah, that's my main
So,
source of contention.
and what
yes.
I would maybe ask is, does it make sense to approve the schedule with the exception and then tabling the Saturday after July 20th?
No.
We don't have to necessarily approve the whole schedule, but approve the rest of the schedule. We know that the rest of the schedule is going to be there. The bone of contention is really just for the Saturdays after July 20th.
If you didn't get the Saturdays the way that you've submitted them after the 20th, would it mess up any of the other scheduling that you've got in place?
The Saturdays after July 20th. Is that your question is, if the Saturdays of after July 20th, would that affect us being able to tell her?
If we decided to alter the Saturdays after the home show. the last home
I
show.
think that would be fine. The questions that are being asked are definitely the home show dates and kind of when practices are. So we kind of need to get the practice schedules because parents are asking, when's my kid going to practice? How many days a week is that going to be? So they're
if
trying to
we-
make summer
If we
plans.
amended the motion to adopt the schedule through July 20th home show, would that
That would be okay
be
with me.
okay with you?
But I'm here as Lakes and Parks, but I play both roles, so.
So,
I
okay.
thought that maybe the president would be here, but I don't see her.
So what you would propose, Aaron, is adopting the schedule through July 20th and then tabling the rest of it?
So snow dates, community nights, and the practice schedule through July 20th?
I was gonna, for scheduling purposes, we at least need to know the big events because we have a lot of people that wanna book like graduations and, you know, so like their big dates.
And for our community nights, we do have, we open them to the CA community and have the food trucks, and I do know that they want to get the food trucks booked as well, so.
I would make a motion, I'll make a motion.
No, wait,
Can we-
so let's table the previous motion then. Can we get?
I guess it dies, or no, it does, well, it's two.
We've got
Withdraw.
votes
Withdraw.
voted, yeah,
Withdraw.
yeah, we haven't completed the vote.
Okay.
We're still under discussion.
Got it.
Who made the motion?
I did.
You want to withdraw the motion?
I withdraw the motion.
Tom has withdrawn the motion. I'm not sure that this exactly follows Robert's Rules of Order, but
So, I would, this is what I would propose. I would make a motion that we approve, I don't know how I want to say it. Give me just a second, let me think about this. Our tribal community nights and home shows. Yeah, our tribals community nights, home shows. And that's what's on there.
The barefoot tournament?
Oh, yeah, and
Future Jump
tournaments.
Clinic?
Yep.
Well, and practice schedules
Yes.
is something that parents are wanting to know as well.
Well, we'll get, I mean, we can go through that we can get that done, but we can go through it. So that's what my motion would be, to approve community nights, so we can get that rolling.
with
Future of Jump.
the intention of still discussing the practice schedule tonight?
I mean, you mean after the fact?
Well, I don't understand why we couldn't approve the schedule up to July 20th. If your only objection seems to be, the only objection should you verbalize.
Well, I don't, I agree. Go ahead. I'm just telling you what my motion is.
Okay.
Like seconded or
No,
not seconded.
okay.
Tell ya.
Okay, yeah, that would be a point, go ahead and make your
Right.
motion, I apologize.
So, I make a motion to approve our tribal community nights, home show dates, Future of Jump Clinic, and Barefoot Clinic. Which are the only things on it. Correct, that's it.
No practice schedule.
No practice. Wait, where have you been?
You said the community night, show dates night, barefoot, and future jumping club is what you said.
Yes, that's it. That's
What about
all
the
in it.
practice schedule?
No.
Well, that's what she needs to know, though. That's what you just said.
You just,
So she's made a motion, is anyone gonna second it?
did we hear the conversation we just had?
I heard what you said, too.
Hearing no second.
I'll second it for the purposes of conversation.
Okay, discussion.
I think we have to put the practice at least through July 20th with that.
I feel the same.
Okay.
That would be extremely helpful to be able to make plans for families as well as for us to get that.
And that hasn't changed, right?
It has not
So why-
This
why
is
we-
the
why
exact
we
same
argue about
schedule that they've had with the exception
You said
of
it
the
goes to
extended
five.
clinic.
That is correct, Heather,
Yeah.
and that is correct.
I didn't.
No, and I know that, but that's, so Becky did go back and double check the last 2 years, and this is the exact same schedule with the exception of the additional time for the jump clinic that the ski club
Absolutely.
has had. And I should also note the Lakes and Parks approved it unanimously. So, just so you guys know, because they didn't meet, and there's not meeting minutes.
Yeah.
Every single person at Lakes and Parks
Right.
approved it.
And I did just ask our membership director what our numbers were last year, and we had 247 members last year. So that's the
But
amount of people that we're trying to work with.
That is
and get
people,
some-
not families, right?
That is.
Okay.
That
So
is
that's-
people.
that's-
So I think we average between 80 and 90 families.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm not, I hope
Yeah.
I'm not putting words in your mouth, Angie, but your objection is that basically the ski club is at some point taking over Jefferson Point 7
Correct.
days a week through July 20th, and then 5 days a week from July 20th through August 23rd, right? That's your objection?
It is.
And just so you know, and I know we've talked about this in the past, that Jefferson Point is still open to. The only thing not allowed is we can't let, if we have an act that's coming onto the beach, we would ask the people not be in the water on the beach, just because we wouldn't want them to get hurt. They can still idle through the coves without any difficulties, so the pavilion can still be used. We have made a more diligent, I really stress it every time I'm down there, to make sure we're not blocking bathrooms so the community can still have access to the bathrooms. So, you know, all of any concerns that have ever been brought to us, we've attempted to take care of. So it's not that Jefferson Point is closed to the community. It is still accessible to people. People can bring their boats in, they can park, they can watch practice, they can do it however they would want. They can be on the beach. We just would ask them not to be in the water when we're landing acts.
I mean, but honestly, so it's pretty difficult for other people to use Jefferson Point when the ski club's using it, which is, so, I mean, you can, there's other places on the lake for people to go. That's what I do. I come out of the main marina and I go left when you guys are practicing. That's just always been the way that it is. And I don't mind that. I think the ski club is a huge part of our community. So, to me, I personally don't necessarily object to the schedule. From a practice standpoint, it seems like the way that it's always been, and we've always just had to work around it. This is a water ski lake as much as anything else. So
I would also like to point out that until 2019, home show ended at 4th of July.
And the reason that had changed in 2019 was because that was the year that schools were required to start later. So therefore, our practices, while we try to start in May, a lot of times we're now into June, 1st of June, 2nd of June, depending on snow days, or I'm sorry, first week of June or second week of June, now based on snow days, because kids have to start school later. So now kids do not get out of school as early as we have in the past. And so that was one of the things that changed with the shows, is we felt like the season became so short for the families to.
So
2019 was dredging, correct, Heather?
We started 2020 and went to 21.
Okay. I'm trying to remember, because that is when most of it changed, because I remember the conversation between the ski club and the
It changed because of the school thing, but I think dredging was around that same time.
I mean, if we're not starting practices till later, but we're blocking off Jefferson Point on May 6th.
Well, and that's because we try to start, we put May 6th, but the reality of it is sometimes that those practices don't start because it's too cold, there's debris in the water, so we just have always said the first week in May is when we'll start. I don't know that there's a problem with us not putting first week in May, but I do know if it's nice, some people like to go ahead and start, but it makes it difficult for some of the kids to get there to practices if they have school. So because the junior line practice starts around 4 o'clock, and we have a lot of families that end up having to come late those first 2 weeks of practice.
Okay, so our motion that we have on the floor right now is to approve the events. Let's dispose of that, because we know.
I think
okay.
there was at least 2 of us that recommended that we add the practice schedule through July 20th to that, and I thought Angie accepted that.
If that's what you, I'm not okay with the schedule. I'm gonna point that out again.
Okay,
Like,
well,
I'm not okay amending my thing.
Then let's
So
vote
against it.
on her.
Yeah. And
Well,
make
and then you.
I personally recommend we don't second it and we go back to our original motion.
We've already seconded, so
Yeah.
we can
Yeah,
vote
so
You can
let's-
take it back.
So let's.
She has to withdraw.
I have to withdraw it and I won't.
Here, let's vote on this, and then and then if you'd like to make a motion on the practice schedule, we can address that.
Do you guys want a roll call vote?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, roll call vote. Aaron,
What's the,
it is to
adopt the events.
The events.
adopt the yes.
Nay. What am I, to adopt the event?
The
Nay.
events.
Nay. No.
Wait, so
I'm
yes.
voting
on
for my own, yes, absolutely.
No. Right. Nay.
I'd like to see, I'm gonna say nay.
Okay.
So the motion does not pass.
Okay,
So make a motion.
so, do you want to make your motion again, Tom?
Well, I already took mine back, you go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna recommend that we accept the show dates, the community nights, the barefoot tournament, the Future of Jump Clinic, and the practice schedule, May 6th to June 20th.
July.
Or July 20th, sorry, May 6th to July 20th, as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Can I just ask, will there, in your motion, would there be further discussion about July 20th through August then?
I think
Yes.
we'll be talking about that next meeting.
Okay, that's what I was just wondering,
Yeah.
is that,
We're not
is that a
saying you
no?
won't get that.
Okay,
Yeah.
with further
We're
discussion.
gonna work on
Okay,
it
correct.
in the
I think
future.
everybody.
We built some consensus here.
Okay,
Okay, so the motion is to approve all of the events in the practice schedule through July 20th. We do have a second.
Yes.
Do we have any further discussion?
I just have one question, just so I understand, and I apologize for putting you on the hot seat tonight, but the group of practices that we're talking about not approving, those are primarily the competition teams' practices, right? That's what we're
yes,
talking
so
about?
let me make sure I'm correct. So after July 20th, what will happen is the competitions team will be going to regional, so they'll go to regionals in July. If they qualify for D1 nationals or D2 nationals, they'll go either the first weekend in August or the second weekend in August, depending on which they qualify for. So that's the competition team, which would be what most people know as arch rivals. Then in the middle of August, either the 16th, 17th, or the 23rd, that we haven't got a confirmed date, is the Lake Wappapella show, which most likely would be the arch rivals people, plus maybe some other advanced skiers to put on a show.
But as far as the people showing up to practice after the 20th of July, they are not the recreational
only
skiing
thing-
families, they are the arch rivals.
Yeah, other than Monday nights, if we could continue jump practice, which would be the younger kids as well.
Okay.
So Monday night would be younger kids. Typically, the schedule would be Tuesday, Wednesday night are arch rivals, and Friday nights are arch rivals.
And remind me, our arch rivals, are they all CA members?
Correct. That we have the ability to have, 2% of our non-members, but our bylaws take you, if you're in, what is it, 1/3? I think currently we maybe have one member who's not, and our bylaws do require that they have to bring a competitive edge to the team in order to be in the club.
Okay.
Do they have to pay an amenities fee or anything like that?
That is a good question.
These are not material to this motion. I'm sorry. It's 8:30 already. We're volunteers. I'd like to talk about what we got to do for this motion and vote on it, if we could, please. Seeing no further discussion. All in favor?
Let's do a roll call.
You want to do a roll call vote? Okay. Aaron?
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
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 Motion carries. 4-1. I apologize, but
To get to my first motion I made, 40 minutes ago.
okay. So then we will we'll discuss the remaining schedule and get back to you.
Okay,
as soon as we
perfect.
can.
And if you have further questions, myself or Christy Cross
Yeah.
can try to answer those. Our second motion is motion to recommend the Board of Directors approve the 2024 Anglers Club schedule.
Would entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the Lakes and Parks recommendation for the Anglers 2024 agenda.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Is
Any-
this,
Yeah, any discussion?
is this substantially the same schedule as before?
Yes. That answer I cannot give you because I did not.
It didn't change at all.
Yeah, theirs doesn't usually change,
Okay,
except for the dates.
I have no more questions.
Seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any
Hold
opposed?
on, I'm gonna I'm not gonna vote. I'm gonna abstain.
You're gonna abstain?
Yes.
You wanna do a roll call vote?
No.
No,
Just
just-
announcing an
abstaining, yeah.
abstention?
So Angie, I do have a question. You're abstaining from this one, but you are a ski club member as well.
I'm married to the president of the board, or
Okay.
of the club.
I just want that to be noted that Angie and her son and her husband
We're
are ski club members
both,
as well.
But I'm kind of married to that guy, so I know everything.
Okay, I think that disposes of
Okay,
the motions
thank you.
for you guys. Thank you very much. Sorry for all of the stuff there. Joe Strange, golf.
I'm just gonna stay over here, my voice is loud enough. Motion to recommend the board of directors approves Joe Strange, the chair of the golf committee for 2024.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve Joe Strange as the chairman
I
of the
still
golf.
want to say it again.
I don't either.
Any,
Motion to approve Joe Strange.
I think he
You did- oh,
motioned,
you
you're a
did?
second.
Second.
Yeah.
All right, could there be any discussion on this?
I don't know why.
Do you want
There
it?
could be a lot of discussion.
We've proven that. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
You're welcome, Joe.
You're stuck again, Joe, sorry.
Ah.
All right,
Motion to approve, we recommend the board approves the 2024 tournament schedule as submitted.
which has all been approved and vetted with our scheduling people, correct? Okay. I would entertain a motion.
Motion, board approves the golf tournament schedule for 2024.
Second.
Any discussion needed? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Joe, appreciate it. All right, Courts Committee, Alex?
Alex.
Hello.
Aye.
We have a motion to recommend that Sally Henderson's term on our courts committee be extended for another 3-year term, ending 2027.
I'm not allowed to make a motion on this, but I can tell you that Sally has been a delight on that committee, so.
Okay, motion to recommend that Sally Henderson's term on the courts committee is extended for another 3 years to end date of 2027.
I'll second. Who said that? Kurt?
Got a bunch of
Go ahead.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And all opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Then the next thing, we have a tennis event schedule for 2024. And I've submitted, it's virtually the same as last year, so just changing the dates to align with.
Entertain a motion.
Motion to recommend that the board approves the 2024 tennis event schedule.
Second, anybody?
Second.
Kurt seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right.
That's it.
And then you have one opening, seeking an application for a new member?
We do, yeah.
Yeah. Just a general announcement. There you go. Okay.
We'll put that in the newsletter too, but E&F got a good response just from this agenda going out, so we'll make sure that yours is in the newsletter and some applications.
Great.
So I have a question. You know, we originally, the courts committee was set up with 8 members, it'd be in the max. If they have additional people that want to be on that committee that they want to have, is there any chance that they can adjust their charter to expand that?
I think the board has to approve it, but yeah.
So
I mean, I don't see
they
why
could
not.
ask for us to recommend that, or us to make a motion to expand the number? Okay. I'm
Yeah,
just curious.
absolutely.
There was some discussion about if 3 or 4 people wanted to apply, that made sense to have them there, so, okay. Kathy Cumby is not here, correct?
No, she's
here.
here.
I'm
Sorry.
Okay, good. Well, we'll be looking forward to that next month, because that'll mean warmer weather is here. So, all righty, so that will take care of our committees. Thank you for all of your hard work and your patience working through all of that stuff. We are now accept general comments from the residents, if any residents would like to speak.
Signed up.
Any signed up? All right, then I believe we will take comments from the board members. Aaron?
I have a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I motion that the board adopts a policy of having each board member sign a conflict of interest form annually.
Second.
Any discussion on this? This was something we discussed in our executive session, and we all signed a document that discloses any conflict of interest whenever we join the board, but it was discussed that that situation could change for people over time, and that it probably made sense for us to disclose any conflicts that we have on an annual basis, or at least sign a paper saying we don't have any if we don't have any. So I think that was a good idea that made sense, and we probably should have done that in new business, but here we are.
I have an amendment I'd like to add, that we include the general manager with the board of directors on a yearly basis.
Yeah, and furthermore, it doesn't absolve us from stating any conflicts of interest in the interim time, but as a matter of policy, we'll visit annually.
You have all that, Tricia? All right, I think it's a good idea. Anybody have any other further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I did it.
Tom,
I don't remember.
Yeah, either Angie did.
We'll say it.
I think we both
I
said the
stopped
same
talking,
thing.
yeah.
Okay. General comments?
Thanks everybody.
Thanks.
Sorry, I'm sorry. That's my fault.
Sorry, guys. There's a lot of people here. Keep coming.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate the bird thing. That's gonna, the raptor show is gonna be kind of cool, I think, for the residents. I think everybody's gonna be excited about that, so we'll look forward to that. Thanks for everybody coming, and thanks for all the committees.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, and I just appreciate that, Angie, I'm still getting up to speed on a lot of things here, as far as in the community association, so I just want to discuss what her concerns are and issues, and educate myself more just about what these practice schedules mean. So I'm sure we can come to a resolution on it. I just want to be educated, so. That's it. Thank you all for coming.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Well, I get to say a comment.
What? Oh.
I appreciate all the committee members' hard work. Thanks for your patience in dealing with us. Apologize for losing my mind there for a second. And I believe I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Second. Third.
Aye. Yeah, everybody in favor? Aye. All right, thanks, everybody.
Yeah, I honestly, yeah, so I appreciate, I learning, and that's,